If I plan to or suspect that my spouse is planning to file for divorce, are there ways I can prepare that will give me the best outcome?
With respect to one's income, if you think your spouse is going to sue you for alimony, child support, etc., and maybe the divorce filing isn't going to happen for another several months or a year or two on down the road, uh, I see this happen a lot where people are, doing a lot of overtime or a lot of extra work, maybe even working a second or a third job to bring in extra income into that house. Well, one needs to know that all income counts for child support and alimony purposes. So, and under New York state law, whether you're talking alimony, otherwise known as spousal maintenance, or child support, it's generally speaking a pretty strict calculation of your income, whatever it is. So, I see this happen a lot where husbands are, doing a lot of overtime or busting their ass and working 80 hours a week at their job or working two or three jobs. And they say, well, gee, last year I made $250,000. What's my potential in terms of alimony and child support? I'm like, well, the statute says it's based on your last filed tax return. So there's no real way around that. So if you were a really good income earner, then it is as it is. So one thing that you would think about for a potential divorce case, especially if it's at least several months, if not a year or two down the road, is if you don't want that potential, stop doing the overtime. Stop, working 80 hours a week. Say, to your wife, hey, look, I've been working two or three jobs now for a while, physically, mentally, etc. I really can't do that. I'm going to have to scale back. Those are all legitimate reasons to scale back, but what you can't do is do that while the divorce is either pending or imminently going to be pending, because again, it's based on last filed tax return in terms of the calculation of alimony and child support. The other thing that you would want to do is work with a financial planner and or an asset manager who is skilled in counseling people going for divorce cases. There's what's called certified divorce financial planners. And you can literally just Google that term. And those are people that are certified by an independent agency to counsel people that are going through a divorce, not only to get their income and assets and properties in the best position possible to get a good outcome for them, but also let them know what they're looking at as well, and can work with their potential divorce attorney to better their case. And the same would go with a non-moneyed spouse as well. You want to meet as early as possible. If you think that there's going to be contested issues of assets or property or alimony, child support, etc., you want to meet with a divorce attorney. You want to meet with a certified divorce financial planner to work out how I can better my case. And oftentimes that process takes several months, if not longer, to get all those ducks in a row. So if you wait until, the divorce is going to get filed tomorrow, well, obviously it's too late to start planning. The other thing too is you want to already start planning if there's going to be contested custody or visitation issues. So a lot of times people come to me and they say, well, hey, the child or children, they've been in my primary custody. I've been doing all this stuff for them, so I'm the primary parent. I should win custody, right? And I say, well, great. When you get into court, the problem is proof, evidence. So your say-so doesn't prove your case. And so what I tell my clients is you have to keep a paper trail, ideally over the course of at least several months. And what that paper trail is, among other things, documenting in ideally a shared Google Calendar, like what tasks you're doing for the child or children vis-a-vis your spouse, offering that, if the child needs a haircut or to go to the doctor or setting up a play date, you send an email or a text over to your spouse and say, oh, hey, Junior's got a play date next Saturday. Can you take Junior? And if they say, oh, no, sorry, I'm busy. Okay, add that to the paper trail, because the more you have that in your, column, essentially, that's going to better your case because you now have that proof, as opposed to just going into divorce court on a he said, she said. Because it's amazing how many times the mothers will say, well, gee, I've been taking care of the child the vast majority of the time. And then the father will say, well, that's not true. I take care of the child or children about an equal amount of time as the wife. And then how is a judge supposed to know who's telling the truth without actual evidence to back that up? So those are just a few examples of things where you don't want to wait until days or even weeks before you file for divorce, before you come in to meet with a divorce attorney. Ideally, if those issues are going to be contested, you're talking months or even a year or so before you file for divorce. You want to have that consultation with the divorce attorney.